exhale out. And a second. And release it. And one more. All the way into the base of the spine. Roll your energies in and exhale out. Slowly open your eyes. Good morning. Good to see you. One new face than before. Welcome. Interesting, as we were coming out of the meditation, the sirens going off. Because the talk today has to deal with chaos. So I cued that. I contacted the fire department. Said, create some chaos, will you? Just as a nice dramatic statement.
We'll consider
as an opening to my piece. I know we're running, just FYI for those who are new, we're streaming this online and recording this. I'm hoping that the sound is on. It doesn't look like it is. So I hope you guys hear me. If not, just follow the movements of my legs. And we'll upload the talk a little bit later. So, chaos. How many people pay attention to the news? And I know that's kind of a rhetorical question here in Asheville. I'm still curious. Okay. Good. I'm not encouraging you to do so.
Make our own news.
Create your own news. But I do listen to the radio. I listen to NPR in the morning just to kind of get my bits and snippets. I trust public radio more than any of the other ones, although I still take public radio, with a grain of salt sometimes. So, and so 3 stories I heard this morning was about the dolphins that washed up on the beach in the Gulf, the baby dolphins, about 25 to 30, which they usually have, some deaths apparently, but this was an unusual number in March, which brought to mind the birds that fell out of the sky a little while back by the hundreds. Nobody knows why. Some people have their theories, conspiracy theories and chaos theories. Ireland is about to get in an uproar because they've been bankrupt for a while. Nobody's working and everybody's pissed off with the government. There's something going on in China. There's always going on in China when you have how many people do they have? Like 1 billion people or something like that? Mm-hmm. A lot. And a big country. And its paradigm in terms of how it's set up, in terms of its government, is not necessarily, it's not democratic. We know that. We are in the state, in this country, in about 8 days of possibly the government shutting down for the first time in over a decade. Since 1996, because we got no money to run our government, and we're so far in debt.
Yippee.
1/3 of our debt is to China, by the way, FYI. What else? Bear with me, I won't leave you here. Of course, the Libya situation. There's revolt, revolution going on in Libya. Still working through the Egypt stuff, but the Libya stuff has taken over the news. So there's a lot of things happening. Oh, the New Zealand earthquake that happened this week in Christchurch, of all places. Shaking of foundations all around. Lots of movement of energy. And then my conversation is like, oh, that's good and well and no. Okay, so there's stuff going on around the world, and there's some really crazy stuff going on around the world, and what can I do? Here in Asheville. feel directly affected by it, but I know that somehow we all are. But it affects other people in different ways. And this week I've been in conversations where people are really angry about things. I mean, pissed off, angry about things. And some of it is about what's going on around the world and feeling helpless. You know, angry at the governments, angry at, you know, the deaths that we don't know about, you know, that why are these things happening to dolphins and birds and who knows what else. Species, I posted an article, you know, we've got the greatest number of species right now that's been reported and going into extinction. Something like 10,000 species over the last few years. And so, but then it kind of extends into the personal. People are like angry about stuff. They're like, I'm just angry. I don't know what's going on. You know? Or I can't find a job. It's, you know, making me mad. Or, you know, just some stuff coming up from my past. You know, I thought I took care of that when I, you know, my mother issue, my father issue. Why is it all coming up? And I don't help very often when they tell me that, and I go, oh, good. Awesome. That doesn't win you very many friends, I assure you. What are you talking about? So you got something to work with, something to let go. Yeah, but. No buts. We've been living in a world of buts and what ifs and maybes for a long time. I said, now's the time. Now you are supported by a shift in a major way. And you're feeling it. Mm-hmm. And it's affecting you. And you care. Good. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do about it? And when people say I can't do anything, I don't buy that. Now you may not be able to hop on a plane and go to one of these countries. Even Haiti's still building, lots of stuff still going on down there. Lots of places going to things. Maybe you can't go there, but what you can do is support there. And you can support that in a myriad of different ways. But the primary and most important right now is how do we support things energetically? How do we support things with prayer, with meditation, with love, with compassion? And people that have a hard time understanding exactly the impact of what that is, I find, are caught up in here. They're caught up in this headspace. I said, you don't send prayers from your mind, you create them there. Your thoughts are important. They set the intention, but where you place the attention is down in this space, in the lower area, beyond, below and behind that. And that's where you send your energy. But people are usually stuck up here in the mind, in the physical mind, in the brain, in the thinking mind, and down here below in the first and second and third chakras. And most people are working from these lower levels. And the house of ego, in many understandings and beliefs, is that your power source, your solar plexus, that's kind of where fear and anger and anxiety and judgment really kind of resides. Yes, we do that with our thinking mind, but the energy is stored down here. Why do you think so many people have stomach problems, digestive problems, ulcers? And then if you haven't dealt with some of the pain stuff relating to your connection to your physical plane, that resides down here in the first and second chakras. The second chakra is the house of sensuality, connection with your body. It's all about the physical and movement, the eros energy. And the first chakra is right down there at the root. It's your connection to the planet. It's your portal to the Gaia energy. The egg and the sperm that we were all created by in the physical form came from our predecessors, our mothers, our fathers, through that portal to create this vessel. So it's connected to this planet, and it'll always be connected to this planet. Guess what? When your soul's done with it, when your higher self's done with it, it goes back into the everything that is here. You don't get to take it with you. Some of us are happy about that. Great. Hadn't really gotten along with it too well anyways. I got a bum one when I signed up. Damn back, you know? Should have been tall and blonde. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? But you come to connection with these physical forms in those lower areas. And that house of ego, the furnace, I call it, it's like the oven fire. I mean, we can do a lot of change with that energy, with that solar plexus, the sun, solar. But the thing that feeds this lower space has to constantly be fed. And that's why I say it's the house of ego. It has to be fed with angst and stuff. And it's like it's like a wood-burning stove. You got to continue to feed it. And if you run out of wood, which is usually conflict for a lot of people, or stress, or anger, God, I'm so pissed off, I'm going to make a change. There's a lot of stuff that can happen in that place. But what happens when the energy runs out? Well, you got to go get more. But if you move it up to the upper level, if you move it into the center space, the three upper chakras connect you to that whole spiritual realm. So 3 lower down to the earth. First, second, and third. Ego, body, being here. The upper 3, throat, third eye, crown, all related to your higher self. And they meet in the middle. And that's what we do in practice when we're doing the grounding and the tethering of those energies into this space. And we send it out. And the important thing to do right now is send it out as much as possible. But you can't give what you don't have. So if you're not centered, if you're not clear, if you're not okay with the being that you are, if you're not happy about being here, then you're never going to be happy about anything that's going on around you. And I heard someone say that the other day. I'm fucking sick of being here, excuse my French. I hate it here. I just want to get on with it. I'm ready to get back to the source. You know what my answer to that is? Well, go. You got the choice. Nobody's making you stay here. Check out anytime you want. There's a million different ways. I've tried it twice. Obviously, I didn't want it bad enough because they sent me back. Damn. And then I said, okay, fine, there must be something for me to do, and that's what I've done for the last 20 years. Since that time. When I went through my first energetic healer, my teacher who taught me about energy work and chakras and auric, he said, oh, you've cut off at the knees, orically speaking. Right. Is that good? That bad? It's neither good or bad. It just is. The thing that changed my understanding about it, he says, yeah, but you've never really wanted to be here. Ever since you got here, you've been wanting to get out. It's like, and he said, well, here's the deal. You can do that anytime. I said, well, yeah. He goes, but if you don't connect with this physical form, if you don't connect with what it is that you're here, why you're in this body, you'll never fulfill the purpose by which you came. And guess what? You'll have to come back and do it again. I went, I don't want to come back and do it again. Not under these circumstances. I want to come back when it's nice and shiny and everybody's happy and, and everybody's telepathically teleporting and doing all that kind of stuff. So let me come back in about 100, 200, 300 years. Or maybe another planet even. I heard the Syrians are pretty cool. So he said, well, you've got to get clear and you've got to get grounded. And it's hard when there's chaos going all around you, sirens going left and right, people screaming at each other, yelling. And the thing is that people don't know what's going on. A lot of people are paying attention to the news. A lot of people are listening to all the chaos thinking that's the only reality that exists. And last time we talked about listening. Listening to your thoughts, listening to your body, listening to your higher self. Through the breath. Asking. Ask for the clarity that you're wanting to receive. What's it all about? And you may not get the full answer, and in fact, you probably don't even want it. It's a pretty big thing. I don't even have all the answers. My favorite saying is, I know nothing. But I do know what I need to know now. I know what I need to know in this moment. And even that is a tiny drop in the ocean. Our bodies would literally blow up if we just had all the knowledge of the universe in a single life moment. We'd be buried under a billion, trillion, infinite number of grains of sand. But we have enough, and we know enough, and we connect enough. And so I told that, or I didn't tell that person, I actually thought, and I did actually, I said, come to QiGong. It seemed trite, it seemed self-serving. She was like, really? I said, yeah. I'll help you move that energy. I'll show you how you can tap into a higher place out of the fear and angst and anger that you're right now reacting with, because you're a light worker. And you're talking about snuffing out your own light. In a time when there's a lot of darkness happening on the planet. Yeah, but what about all the people dying and being killed? Don't worry about that. It's not yours to carry. We're not here to save the planet, guys. She has a pretty strong capability of taking care of herself. Amen. However, we are here to save ourselves, to serve ourselves and to serve one another, because something is happening. And there's big change occurring. And Jupiter and Pluto, I've been wanting to say this, just went in conjunction. So those of you in astrology, it's a pretty big deal. Jupiter is the planet, in astrological speak, the revolutionary, mover, changer, shaker, upper. It is the biggest planet in our galaxy. Pluto is the furthest one and represents everything under the surface. The darker sides. Imagine it being way out on the farthest edge. Some even argue that it's even a planet. Satellites, who cares? But it's there. It's about revealing what's underneath. And the two now are together on, sending energy. And it started today, the 25th is today. And I turn on the news and I go, what's moving, shaking, getting stirred up? Good. Yeah. So our country is about to go bankrupt and shut down for who knows how long? Awesome. I'm glad I have some cash set aside. And I live in a community that likes to grow food. And I like to eat food. Whatever. But like a snake shedding its skin, there's a time of vulnerability. When the old skin turns white, press over it, can't see, and it lies until it starts to weave its way out. There's a lot of vulnerability going on. And like the caterpillar emerging from the chrysalis, there's a lot of pushing and stretching and blood pumping into that life, that new form. And I would guess that both are pretty scary and painful experiences if you're a snake and or a butterfly. But you trust the process and that we're moving through it. And so if you've been angry this week or been challenged by a lot of what the news is going on in the world, I say good. And if you're on the other side of that coin, you say, you know what? I feel good about things. I know all of this is really tragic in some ways, but I also know it serves a higher idea, a higher power. And how can I support that? And if you're somewhere in between, awesome. Because we're always moving in the direction of expansion. But every once in a while, there are these contractions. And every form of creation requires a little bit of chaos. The whole universe from the beginning, the birthing of a child, or any baby for that matter. We're in the labor pains right now. And I told people last year about this time, don't worry, this year's going to be tough, but next year's going to be even tougher. For some. I said, keep doing your work, and you'll move through it a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, and you'll know what you need to do when you need to do it. And if you feel helpless, then move out of that energy and find a place where you can help. And if all that is to sit in meditation and send love around the planet, or think about people that you know, then do that. Show up for practice, do your yoga, do your QiGong, do your walking in the woods, do your writing love letters to people, do whatever it takes in order for you to keep in that vibration. To stand in the center of the storm while everybody else is wrapping and running and flying around you. Every once in a while, reach out, grab one, pull them in. Say, do you like this or do you like that? Because if you like this, I know where you can go to get more of this. Join me. Whatever it is you're doing. Find a place. It's for us to really kind of build on our community building skills right now. It's the only thing that's, because that's the other thing that person was saying is, I don't have anybody. I've been in Asheville and I don't have anybody. I can't, and nobody's got that. That's it. Okay. Here's my card. I do personal life coaching as well. Help you figure that out. But show up. It's time to really, really show up and be present and to move with these energies and know that it's all happening. Old school. It's going out. Scrumble down. I do like to build a big wheel though. The old paradigm. And not to say that it'll be easy for all of us, even those of us that see the big picture or feel the big picture or know the big picture to a certain extent.
Still experience the birthing field.
Oh, absolutely. But we serve more too as midwives, mid-husbands to the process. But we're all constantly birthing something. So a lot of movement, a lot of energy going into this weekend, going into this week. Maybe you're feeling it. Maybe you're just observing it in others. Certainly seeing it around the planet. And there's more to come. And I say bring it on. Because it's time. You gotta crack a few eggs to make a good omelet. Organic, of course. All right. So that's the message for today. And I want us all to be able to hold space for this planet today. So we're going to really do some energy sending now. If you can save it towards the end.